Hi guys! So a quick disclaimer, I'm a little sick right now and that's why my voice sounds slightly like garbage. I'm sorry about that. Today I'm going to be making a Ravenclaw. Okay, so I know I've already done a couple of my own house mashups, but I really love Harry Potter and I thought this would be a lot of fun. To make things a little different, I'm not going to be making the Hogwarts uniform. I'm going with a more casual outfit that this girl might wear over the summer break. I'm thinking lots of blues and some hints of gold, something very light and comfy looking. This should be fun. For this Ravenclaw girl, I got my hands on my very first Ever After High doll, Apple White. I really love the more realistic body that the Ever After High dolls have, but is it just me or their head's huge? I knew that would really bother me in the long run, so I decided to shrink this head. Fill up a mason jar with acetone and dunk her in for 2 hours. I had some more footage from this endeavor, but it was unfortunately deleted. For an excellent walkthrough of head shrinking, check out Derilli, link in the description box below. While the head is drying out, let's make the clothes. I made a teeny pair of jeans, but the denim that I was able to find was a little too dark. I really wanted an acid wash jean look, so let's lighten them up. I mix a little bleach and a lot of water in a jar and pop the jeans in to soak. I maybe watered down the bleach a little bit too much. It took about 40 minutes for my jeans to lighten up, but that's probably a good idea to go a little bit slower. Once you're happy with the color, rinse them off thoroughly in water. To add a little more realism, I wanted there to be a brighter patch on the denim at the tops of the thighs. I'm not really sure why the fabric there is always lighter, but it seems to be a regular feature, so let's add it. I just got a Q-tip soaked with straight bleach and dabbed it on the top of the thigh area and left it to sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. And this is how it came out. Not bad if I do say so. Oh, and I want some rips on the knees. Regular distressed jeans have those little white threads that go across the opening, so it's a little bit more complicated than just slicing a hole in the knee. Cut 2 little slits where you want the hole to be. This opens up the weave of the fabric. If you look very closely, you can see where the blue threads overlap with the white threads. Using a pair of tweezers, carefully pluck those blue threads out. Denim on this scale is very thin and not as durable as denim you'd find in human-sized jeans, so try not to disturb the white threads. I played around with these holes until they were just the right size. It's better to start out small and go bigger. Once you're happy with the look, seal them up with fray block, not just to protect the hole so that it doesn't get bigger, but also to protect the delicate white strands that are left. I have an idea for this kind of cardigan. This is going to be sort of a kimono style jacket, but I also wanted a very specific color and pattern, so I'm back to dyeing the fabric myself. I mixed together blue, gray, and a little bit of tan to create a sort of desaturated blue. It actually came out a little too similar to the jean color once it had been lightened up and everything, but I still think it looks cool. And I'm a sucker for a kimono style jacket. Using gold acrylic paint, I dot on little stars. Mostly I did plain white dots, but I also got some stylized larger stars sprinkled throughout. I spent longer on this than I probably should have. I really wanted those stars to look good. So let's sew up the sides. I'm back to hand stitching since I knew this wouldn't take long, and I'm also being a coward about my sewing machine. For the shoes, I'm just going to make some teeny flip-flops. For some reason I decided to make these out of Fimo clay rather than foam. I think I just forgot that I had foam that was laying around, and it's even the right color of brown. Instead I had to paint this red clay. Oh well. Take a mold of your doll's feet and cut out the shape with a craft knife. Then poke a hole in the gap of the big toe and the rest of the toes. Next, thread a piece of embroidery thread through the hole and tie it off. I should have made 2 more holes on the middle sides of the flip-flops, like they do with real flip-flops, but at that point I'd already baked the clay. I'll just have to depend on glue. I loop the embroidery thread around the arch of a foot and back through the little hole, then secure everything with a dab of glue. They're not the cleanest shoes. and I might remake them in foam with the correct amount of holes, but they'll work for now. Does anyone else have issues with shoes? I personally prefer to go barefoot when I can. When I'm forced to wear shoes, I just wear sandals. So when I have to come up with shoes for dolls, I always struggle. Her head is finally dry and about as small as it would shrink. It's certainly smaller than when it started, but not by a whole lot. It fits in more with the Monster High heads now, which is all I really wanted. I reattached her head to the body as soon as she was finished drying and had been rerouted. Let's start on the blushing. I always start with contour, and I'm using a new brush that my friend gave me. It's a makeup brush that came in a subscription box, so I don't really know much more about it than that. But wow, does it lay down pigment much more efficiently than my paintbrushes. If you can, I'd really suggest grabbing a set of makeup brushes for blushing your dolls. The bristles are obviously much better equipped to handle powders than paint brushes are. For blush, I mixed up a much peachier tone than I usually use. Generally, I use pinks and reds on my girls, so it was a lot of fun to work with colors that I haven't used as much. I contoured her face quite a bit since I find Ever After High heads to be a little on the round side. I'm also going to contour the body while I have the blushes mixed up. Did you know in the 1920s flappers used to use makeup on their knees? I always think of that when I'm blushing the knees. I didn't contour her body as much as I would have if she was wearing a skirt or something. She's going to be covered up quite a bit, so I didn't think it was very important. I finally break out a pencil to define her belly button and nostrils, then she goes off for another layer of MSC and drying time. Once she's ready, I trace out the shape of the eye with a brown pencil. This is where I ran into the first difference with this doll. Because I've shrunk the head, it's much harder than a regular doll's head, and the texture isn't as smooth as I'm used to. This actually really helps, since it means that there's more grit for my pencils to grab onto, and the tips of my pencils aren't just sinking into the soft vinyl. This is a really good side effect of shrinking a head. However, it was just a little different than what I'm used to, so I sketched in the eyes with a medium brown when I probably could have gone with my fleshy pink color that I usually reserve for the waterline. If I'd done that, I would have been able to move the eyes around a little more easily. As it is, well, you'll see. I sketched out the eye shape and filled in the whites with my General's Chalk pencil. I'm going for a light blue, so it helps to start out with a very white background. And I darken the lash line and come in with pastels for eyeshadow. I even did the eyebrows here, and I think they look pretty good for once. It wasn't until I was putting in the irises that I looked at the eye shapes and noticed that they were just really crooked. One was way off center and the other one was much larger, and I just couldn't kid myself anymore. I knew I had to fix it. So I wiped this face off with acetone. It's really a shame since I think I didn't do as well on the brows the second time, but the eyes do look much better, and I think that's slightly more important. Off camera, I got her back to where I was, so here's the new face with the irises just being put on. I start with a bright blue and then shade in the rims and the tops with a darker blue, then carefully blot on the pupils. I add some highlights to the face with my General Chalk pencil, highlighting under the brow, the tip of the nose, and a little on the eye. Then I finally finish by glossing her eyes and lips. And here she is all finished. Her name is Asteria Aldwell. I think she came out super cute. I love her hair, and with the eye color, she does remind me a little of Merida from Brave. I think my favorite part is her little jacket. It looks really light and comfy for nighttime in England. Asteria, along with the rest of my dolls and some outfits, are up for sale on my Etsy. I'll leave a link in the description box below. And I'm going to take this moment to announce my first series. I've been wanting to do a series for quite a while, and I finally settled on a theme: the Hogwarts houses. I'm going to be making a casual clothes girl for each Hogwarts house. Please let me know which house you'd like to see next by clicking on that little eye in the corner and voting. I may not put out a house every month since I have other collabs and swaps coming up, and I don't want anyone who's not a Hogwarts fan to get swept away in the tide of house girls. So there will be plenty of time to vote. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe for more doll stuff. I put out a new video every other Thursday. Follow me on Instagram for more behind the scenes stuff and sneak peeks, as well as information for when the next house girl will be coming out. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now!